Hi there, dance studio owners, and welcome to the Transform My Dance Studio podcast. My name is Shannon Westphere, and I am the Inner Circle Program Manager here at the Dance Studio Owners Association. I'm so delighted to be introducing a brand new 6-week series here on the podcast with guest host Kelli Leighton for the inspiring Innovate to Thrive series. Kelli is not only a member and guest coach inside the Dance Studio Owners Inner Circle, she is also the owner and artistic director of Leighton Dance Project in California. Just like so many dance studio owners, Kelli is a creative. But what makes Kelli stand out as a leader in our industry is her ability to harness her creativity into innovation and action. Over the next 6 weeks, you'll unlock the difference between being creative and innovative and discover Kelli's tools and tips for turning your dreaming into doing. Before we begin, we wanted to share with you an upcoming free online event for studio owners, the Ramp Up Your Revenue Workshop. It's happening on May 18th, and during the live workshop, we'll help you get financial clarity about where you currently are and confidence to take your revenue to a whole new level with 15 proven revenue boosting ideas, some of which we've never shared before. Like I said, this event is completely free, so go ahead and snag your spot now at dsoa.com/revenue. We hope you enjoy this week's episode of Innovate to Thrive with Kelli Leighton.
Hey friends, welcome to the DSOA Transform My Dance Studio podcast. I'm Kelli Leighton, coming to you from Folsom, California, and you're listening to Innovate and Thrive. This is episode 3 of a 6-episode series hoping to inspire you to embrace your creative spirit, celebrate all parts of you, and create a forward-thinking business that thrives on innovation. In the last episode, I dove into vulnerability, shared some of my most vulnerable moments, hopefully to inspire you to get brave, ask those tough questions, and even the easy ones. They are both important. I hope that you continue to always find your vision in all the decisions you make and fiercely protect it, but also allow yourself to be open to change. I think we're all pretty familiar with change after the last 2 years. Enter COVID-19. Let me first read you a few ideas about innovation. Okay, first one. Creativity is thinking up new things. Innovation is doing new things. Here's another one. Creativity involves breaking out of established patterns in order to look at things in a different way. Innovation is acting on those things. Innovation is change that unlocks new value. And here's my favorite. Innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity and not as a threat. Okay, so when I first read these, and honestly, even now, as I say them out loud, I immediately think, holy guacamole, we can put a check mark next to every single one. Been there, done that over and over again during the pandemic. Let's be honest, we were unleashing our most creative side and being forced to take action. Hello, innovation, every single day. And for some of us, it was 2 years of this, 2 years. We mastered the art of pivoting, which honestly makes me laugh a little bit because as a jazz dance teacher, if you teach beginning jazz and littles, you're with me on this one. A pivot turn is one of the most frustrating things to teach. I just don't know why it's so hard. I mean, honestly, just keep that foot glued to the ground already. Pivot turn. Who knew that word would take on a whole new meaning? It is hilarious to me. But as I look back at all that I was able to accomplish, all that you were able to accomplish, what our entire industry had to go through, the ideas that came from the last 2 years in order to keep these kids dancing, the changes that maybe you're not getting rid of, that inspired you to dig deeper, to build on them, and even the things we couldn't wait to get rid of. I can't help but think, how can we keep that mindset? How can we reshape it and use it as a muscle we continue to flex and not just as a tool to survive? What if we allow ourselves to continue breaking out of established patterns in order to look at things in a new way? I don't know about you, but as the world started going back to normal, getting back on the hamster wheel, just falling back into patterns, there was a big part of me that wanted to push a pause button and say, wait a minute, remember what we just went through? I know there is comfort in the safe, the familiar, the normal, but we just spent 2 years, at least I did, thank you to the state of California, embracing change and rolling with it, getting really uncomfortable and flexing my innovation muscle every single day. And when you think about it, our industry prior to this as a whole really likes to live in the traditional experience. There are certain things you will find in every dance studio on every street corner. There are certain things that you will find in every dance studio's programming and the way that their building is set up. And all of this is wonderful, necessary, and important. But what if we continue to look for new, fresh ideas and become more forward thinking without being forced to do it? What if we choose to do it? What if it became part of our routine, our planning process? What if it was on your terms? To me, this is really exciting. This is what will move our industry forward. And innovation is key. Why are we the last industry to adopt software's technology, automation, communication platforms, QR codes, all the things? In the past, we're the most resistant than any other industry. Well, friends, not anymore. Look out, world. The dance studio owners of the world have figured out how to make our creativity take us to the next level. We can do this. You are innovative every single day. We just have to change our mentality. We just have to change the way we look at it. So I'm going to share a couple of easy, simple things that came from going through COVID-19 within my business. And these are small examples, but it's just a way to show you how looking at things a little bit differently and getting out of those patterns forces you to create something that is better. And we can keep that mentality going. Okay, so one of the big things that came from COVID-19 was we had to change the way we communicated. Yes, communication. We've been told a million times, communication is the key to our success in business, relationships, pretty much all the things. As I started navigating through COVID-19, it was clear really, really quick that the only way we were going to survive is to figure out how to get information regarding the constant changes in schedules, protocols, etc., out to our families quickly while being sensitive to the changing world around us and not overcomplicating and not adding to stress and anxiety and all the opinions that came along with the change we were going through. Communication was literally our key to survival. And not only to our clients, but really more importantly to our staff. In the past, I was guilty of really overthinking and making sure that I got communication out to my clients. And that was the most important thing, that I forgot about my staff. And sometimes I put way too much energy in making sure that my clients knew the information. And then my staff was like, what the heck? We didn't know that was going on. Well, that was impossible to do during COVID. My staff had to know, and they had to be 100% ready to answer questions at any given moment. And they needed to be updated fast and daily, sometimes multiple times a day. And it was also really important that we came from a united, cohesive voice. That was incredibly crucial and still is. And that is something that I have found should be at the forefront of all my communication. I need to be a united voice with my entire team. At the time of the pandemic, and we are still doing this, just at a smaller level, we were utilizing Google Classroom. This was a place for us to get out information. We would put in extra activities that kids could do. I know a lot of you did the same, just any way that we could connect. And we wanted our team to be able to answer emails, questions that may pop up about things that were going on, and we didn't want them to have to spend time searching in a million different places. So we developed our staff hub. You guys, this has been huge. We created a Google site. Yes, we are G Suite users at LDP, so it seemed like the most natural fit. And what started as a quick reference point that we could update quickly evolved basically into an entire staff website. It houses our staff manuals, trainings, protocols, HR forms, schedules, all newsletters, passcodes, quick links to any forms they might need, like reimbursement forms, and even template emails and responses. So they could go in and easily find that and know they were in line with our united voice. It's incredible and so easy to keep updated. One of the best parts is if you keep saying, that's in the staff hub, go look at the staff hub. If you say it enough times, they will eventually stop asking you and just go to the staff hub. It is a win-win. I highly recommend it. And you can get creative with it and put it into play what fits you and your vision. The other tool that I used to stay connected with my team was my Sunday night videos. I had started that prior to the pandemic, but it became even more important during the pandemic. I simply record a video Sunday night with updates for the upcoming week, reminders, shout outs. I play this game where I say, if you're listening to this video right now, text me or post on Slack the biggest takeaway or the golden nugget, and you win a prize. It's all about engagement and creating that back and forth communication. I took the idea of that a step further and started recording messages or going live in client platforms like Band. We use that for our competitive dancers. I would go live in there, record constantly those updates, those shout outs, those little nuggets of inspiration. Sometimes I would invite them to a live and I would show them things that were going on behind the scenes, keep them excited. So why do we need to stop that? Even now when we see kids face to face and we see our staff face to face, let's keep those lines of communication open. And how about traditional phone calls? Pick up the phone, check in with 5 to even 10 families and just see how they're doing. When the pandemic first hit, we called even the ones who had dropped just to see how they were doing and if there was anything we could do to help. That human connection and the idea that they could ask you questions, they could communicate with you is so valuable. There is so much value in the human connection and simply just reaching out. Another amazing tool that was born out of the need to stay connected to our dancers, one-on-one 10-minute check-ins on Zoom. What was put in place as a quick remedy has continued to improve and evolve into this entire system. We use Calendly to schedule. It's super easy, and we use Zoom to conduct the calls. Right now, our recreational dancers sign up with their instructors to talk goals, give instructor feedback, and the best thing is for our instructors to tell our dancers what they see in them. Give them some challenging exercises to do on their own. It's 10 minutes. What I decided to do this year that was huge, I decided to do 10-minute check-ins with all of our competitive dancers 8 years and up. I invited the parents to be on the call if they would like, but I required it for every single one. I spent a total of 15 and a half hours with my competitive kids, connecting with them. It gave me the opportunity to hear how they felt about their classes, their teachers, gave them a place to communicate with me. And yes, it's a lot of time, but these are my highest paying clients. These are the ones who are invested in my studio. I wanted to hear from them. I didn't want them just to talk to the teachers. I wanted to hear with my own ears how they were feeling, how they were doing. And now that communication line is open. And I have found so many incredible wins and things we can work on by just conducting these 10-minute check-ins. Huge. So during COVID, there was this formula. I've kind of like figured out this little formula. We would have a problem or an unexpected surprise, which felt like every day. That would lead us to be creative. We had to get creative because no one really knew what to do. Let's be honest. None of us knew. We had to rely more on our intuition and creativity, which led to solutions. So we already know how to do this. We did it in every aspect of our business. Can we use those same ideas to help us think about our business in new ways, from small things to big things? So here's another small example. QR codes. Use them. They're incredible. Easy. Every restaurant moved to utilizing QR codes for menus. And we thought, why can't we use those the same way for all kinds of things? Let them have a code they just scan with their phone, because we all know we have our phones attached to us at all times. Super easy. My favorite way we use QR codes and continue to use them by far, Bring a Friend Week. What used to be a complete hot mess of a system or lack of a system and no way to follow up, or losing contact information, papers, sign-up sheets, Google Forms, all the things. Did these kids get a waiver? Did they not? How can we incentivize them to sign up? All those things. Now we just use a QR code. We post it all over the outside of our building. We send it out in newsletters. We put it in Google Classroom. We put it everywhere. No paperwork. Super easy. Parents scan it, fill out our quick little form, include the dancer who referred them or who is attending, bring a friend with them, phone, email address, and they can sign the waiver right then. Boom. We have their contact information electronically. We have the current dancer who brought the friend to track the referral. We can send follow-up emails with enrollment incentives and thank yous to our families who brought friends, with a code to use on our online store. So easy. So easy. Another quick little easy new way of doing things that came from the pandemic. Drive up and pick up. We're doing that for almost every restaurant and store. So we started doing that for our online store, which we call the Swag Boutique, for all purchases. When our lobby was closed, we would bag up all the orders, place them inside the studio that the dancers were taking class, and the instructor would make sure it went home with the dancers. Parents don't even have to get out of their car. When our lobby is open, they can come in and pick it up. The order is bagged and waiting for them in a separate part of our lobby, so they're not lining up and taking up all the space at the front desk. So easy. Just purchase ahead and pick up. Parents are loving it. It's the new way the businesses around us are conducting themselves. We can do it too. Easy peasy. Now we're brainstorming on how we can capitalize on that idea in other areas for next season. So here's another little micro example, which I'm sure a lot of you did it. At the beginning of the pandemic, we have all these windows. Let me just go back and paint a picture. We have all these windows on the outside of our studio. And pre-pandemic, they were just that, windows that needed to be clean more often than they were. But when the pandemic hit, we created hearts with names of all 525 kids who were enrolled at that time. We shaped it in a giant rainbow so you could see it from down the street. It created a cool community thing for our community to look at. We encouraged the kids to come, find their heart, take a picture with it, and post it on social media. Well, we've taken that and created a tradition. At the start of every season, we have a theme. This year it was Your Time to Shine. We had stars with everybody's names on it who were enrolled. We had the kids come find your star before classes start, take a picture, tag us on social media. It creates such a fun sense of community and excitement. We do messages all during the holidays. information, signups for summer, QR codes, don't forget those. Super simple. Something that came out of a quick necessity, a survival tactic, to now a tradition. So I guess what I'm getting at, just because we are going back to normal doesn't mean that we have to be the last to the party in the business world. We have spent so much time pivoting under some of the most challenging circumstances to survive. We are beyond trained and equipped to handle the unexpected and to see change, not as a threat, but as an opportunity. This is the time to look at our industry, our business, and respond to the new client profile that has been born out of COVID. Their expectations are different. Our employees' mentalities are different. Our own expectations and the things we value are different. Let's hold tight to those and look at them as opportunities for growth, change, and innovation. For me, I like to thank COVID-19 for forcing me to see the dance studio business in a new light. Let's thank COVID-19 for forcing us to see new opportunities and value as a result of the pandemic. It's never too late or too soon to rebuild any area of your business. Innovation can be small micro changes or big macro changes. Change is upon us in so many areas of how the world is doing business. Let's embrace it instead of resisting it. I know we're exhausted. Many of us have decision fatigue, but what a great time to rethink, refresh, and rebrand. I went through a complete rebranding process in 2020 and 2021. In the next episode, I'm going to walk you through my rebranding process, the mistakes I made, because I did make some, a lot, and also the excitement of the relaunch of my business that now was in line with my vision. And I ultimately landed with branding that was the same, completely in line with my vision. I can't wait to share. For now, I encourage you to sit down with your team, make a list. Make a list of everything you created during the pandemic. List out all those pivots and then highlight what was successful or even the things that inspire you. The things that you say, hey, maybe we could dig into that a little bit deeper. Lean into those and develop those ideas more. If anything, you will honestly see what extraordinary things you have accomplished and how innovative you have already been. Sometimes we forget way too fast, especially if we jump right back into that normal, right back on that hamster wheel. You guys, I am excited for the future of dance. I hope you have an awesome week and celebrate all parts of you, even the ones that are a work in progress. Hugs.
We hope you loved our brand new series, Innovate to Thrive with Kelli Leighton. Your ratings and reviews help us to bring you this value-packed podcast every week. So please make sure to leave us some stars and your comments wherever you listen to your podcasts. Don't forget to register for our upcoming free workshop, Ramp Up Your Revenue, which is happening on May 18th. You can register for free at dsoa.com/revenue. If you're ready to take your studio to the next level and build your own business empire with industry-leading coaches, now is the time to apply to join the Dance Studio Owners Inner Circle. Doors are now open, but spaces are strictly limited, so make sure to get in fast at dsoa.com/inner circle. We look forward to seeing you next week.